Good morning. It is Thursday morning. This is episode 14 of Parent Power Hour. Welcome to everyone. And we had some pretty intense sound issues yesterday. And if you're joining us here, welcome. This is your first time. Come on in, get settled, find a spot where you can feel comfortable. And I see Shay's already on. Good morning, Shay. Good morning, Justin. If one of you could give me a thumbs up that we're okay on our sound this morning, that would be super helpful to me. We were just, every day is new, right? Every day you're trying out new things, and this is episode 14, so that technically means that here for Parent Power Hour, we are 14 episodes into trying this out. Audio sounding great. Thank you, Justin. Thank you so much. So let's jump in today. You probably saw my question. That might be a little bit of, yes. You saw my question of, in the title up there, is what do you do when life isn't rainbows, unicorns, and cupcakes? I think I'm looking out the window right now, and we've got some clouds again here in Dallas. Again, yesterday and the day before were so beautiful. I don't know about you all, but this is my favorite kind of weather, where it's like cool in the morning, and in the evenings. Can wear like a light jacket. You can like run around and not like sweat as soon as you step outside, right? Those of you who are tuning in from over on the other side of the world where it is already hot, thank you for being here, and sorry to rub it in. We're still enjoying some milder weather here in Dallas, and yet again, who knows, tomorrow could be like in the hundreds. So that's the beauty of how we live around here. So I hope you're getting out in the neighborhood. If you are in your backyard, or if you live in an apartment building, that you're able to walk around the complex or something, moving our bodies and getting out and enjoying the weather. And today it's a little bit cloudy, and so we're gonna have to chime in, and we're gonna have to dial it in, and we're gonna have to choose to make some choices about how we feel about today. So we're gonna do a quick little recap of this week, because each of the episodes that we've been focusing on this week have kind of been an overall package of how we are handling the negativity, how we're handling things we can't control. That's kind of been a theme anyways from the very beginning. And isn't that parenthood? I'm not a parent myself, but I live in a house with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, with my sister and her kids and her husband. And I was also a teacher for 15 years in elementary schools. And so, yeah, I feel like that's parenting, right? Like, you can't control those kids. And the sooner we realize that, the better off we'll be with moving forward and being our best selves, and kind of having some tips and tools here in Parent Power Hour as a part of newminds.tv. If anything that I reference sounds completely foreign to you, back in our few previous episodes, you can always find those on newminds.tv. Everything's totally free. Share them along. I've been getting some interesting responses and messages from people about how they maybe have passed it on from a friend to a friend to a friend, and getting direct messages in my inbox about the thoughts that it has sparked, some new thinking that it has sparked for you. And there's still time. There's still time for change. We can change every day. And the point of Parent Power Hour is to give you tips and tools to become your best self. It is about you right now. So get settled if you can. If the kids are already busy on their work, awesome. If you're tuned in, that means that you found a minute away from your own work that I'm sure that you're also responsible for doing. And if you're watching this recorded, find a space where you can really connect with yourself. We did some work back in our beginning of our premiere week on finding our why, and that's really the ultimate drive of, and the bottom layer of the way that we can function, the way that we can really connect to the lifestyle that we want, the choices that we make. And so this week we've talked a lot about the 5 to Thrive, and I have been encouraging and invite all of you to join as well, to join the next 90 days challenge. This is not an ad. No one's making money off of this anyways. It is a totally free challenge. And it gives you a mindset, and it gives you some practical habits that you can start to adopt and work towards including in your life wherever you might be, whether you are totally solo in your apartment, whether you've got 5 or 6 kids running around the house and the in-laws staying with you, and. The idea is that we live with intentionality, or we live with intention for the next 90 days. And if you're interested in signing up, it's totally free. I wish we were putting it on here at New Minds. We will someday. We'll do our own, community-wide challenge, and people will chime in. We do challenges all the time. It's things like cardboard challenge, though, so it's a little bit less introspective. It's the next 90 days, and it's put on by thehollisco.com. If you go there, you can sign up for free. In the last few episodes, it's been pinned in the comments here. And I invite you to do that. I did it as the last 90 days of the year in 2019. So October, November, December. And you kind of heard my story if you were here on Monday. I'm never really a joiner. I kind of resist to following everybody else is doing it. Well, I'm not doing it. I get a little bit rebellious. That's like very tame rebellion. I understand that. Super nerd here. So at least when it comes along with like following along with the crowd and stuff. And so when I did join in the last 90 days of the year last year, I saw some really huge changes in my goals, the clarity on my goals, the habits that I started to have, my health, all of the things that the 5 to Thrive focus on. Drinking water, daily gratitude practice, eliminating one category of food from your health, from your life, from your consumption that you know isn't good for your health and your life. 30 minutes a day of movement, whether that's actual physical workout, and then waking up an hour earlier to have time for yourself. And especially as parents, especially as those of us who are experiencing major transition, and especially when you are trying to navigate all these unknowns, there's a lot of loss that's happening. And whether that's actual loss of people because of the disease, or if it's because of the job, or because of there's millions things that are going on right now, right? And that's not such a positive place to be. And the more you can tune in with intentional, give yourself some time, be easy on yourself, having that hour to yourself every day. And if it's not the beginning of the day, find it at the end of the day. It might be after you've already put the kids to bed or something, that you finally just get to, okay. And I know what you're already thinking. You're like, Kristen, I'm already so tired at the end of the day. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to sit down and beat myself up about all the things. You're right. You're not. You're going to go back to these past few episodes and look at some of the tips and tools that are in there about how you can reflect, how you can reset your intentions, how you can align with the clarity of who you are so that you can better serve those that you love. And that means if you are chilling out in your apartment by yourself for the next few weeks, or you already have been, that also means showing up for the people that you do end up connecting with. I say it's very unlikely that you're having zero interaction because you are consuming social media. You are probably in online meetings, and you are responding to emails coming through in your inbox. And if you're not, if you are in the unfortunate position that you've had to completely overhaul your entire life, and the daily job, the routine, those things aren't there. If you're one of the 6.6 million people that have, oh, thanks. Good morning, Jessica. Thanks for the compliment. If you're one of the 6.6 million people that have filed for unemployment, I know you probably saw that number yesterday. I bet there's somebody in here who is. And so let's dial in to the tools that we can have. Let's not sit back and throw our hands up and say, well, coronavirus, just go on, take my life. So one of the steps that I'm inviting you to join me in is this next 90 days challenge, so that we can get some habits that we can tune into, that we can lock into and know that they're there, And it's really to show yourself that you have the power within you to take your life to the next level. You already have that. Whether you are at home with your kids, whether you are on online meetings all day long, virtual meetings, whether you are doing both, whether you have no more job anymore, you still have the power to change your life. You still have the choices within you to be everything that you were designed to be. And we all have a purpose, okay? I'm going on so many tangents right now. I had so many thoughts this morning when I was prepping for you guys. So let's go back to reviewing. On episode 11, we talked about flipping the story that we tell ourselves and catching ourselves when someone comes to us or someone has a response to us and they're, hey, can you do this? Hey, mom. Hey, can you, sending a message, sending a text. Hey, can you take it? No, I don't have time. And for a lot of us, that's a really common phrase to say, right? I bet if you think over the past 2 or 3 days, you've probably even said, I don't have time for that. I don't even have time to listen to Kristen talk circles around something that I'm frustrated about anyways. I don't have time for that. Oh, cute emoji, Shay. Is that a baby? Is that baby Ash? Yeah, cute. So you're probably already thinking that, and you probably have caught yourself saying it. So what would happen, and what has happened for some of you that have been in this week? I'm curious, have you been able to flip that script in your head? Have you been able to say, it's not a priority right now, instead of, I don't have time for that? Because your gut reaction is to shut it down and be like, put it away, I don't have time. I don't. But really, ultimately, at the core of that, what you're actually saying is, it's not a priority. I don't want to give it my attention. I'm annoyed by it. Those are all of those gut reaction things, our gut reaction responses that we have to when somebody comes to us and is asking us for the millionth time again to get a snack, and you're like, good Lord, it's 10 a.m. You're 4 years old, go get your own snack. I don't have time for that. But really, pause. I don't have time. Okay, wait. It's not a priority right now. Right now, I'm making your lunch. When I'm finished making your lunch, then I can help you get a snack. And then also, how about wait for the lunchtime? Anyways, 4-year-olds, we know that's not going to happen. But I think you get the point here. If you don't, go back to episode 11. We totally unpacked that. Episode 12, we talked about, do you have energy? I kind of alluded to it a few times already today in today's talk. You get at the end of the day and you're like, that's it. I'm done. Tomorrow will not happen. It cannot exist. It's not possible. I'm done with the energy. I gave it all today. There is no more left. Okay, rest, refuel, reset. Probably at the end of the day, yes, you do feel like you don't have a ton of energy, okay? And that's true because you have spent the whole day being on. And what about during the day? Do you find yourself also saying that? I bet you do. I'm not asking you these questions to make you feel judged. I'm not asking you these questions to say, do you have energy? Oh, no. No. I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you these questions so that you can ask, just check yourself. Just check in, because that's what Parent Power Hour is about. For you, whether you're a parent or not, if you're a teacher, if you're staying at home because we've all been told to, and you're looking for some sources of strength, ask yourself these questions. And if you have an answer that you don't like, then this is how we can proceed. So when you're asking yourself that question or when you start to find, do I even have energy? I'm so drained. What we do is we end up having to, which all of us who are just like you and just like me, who are high performers, who are people who care about others in our lives, we generate the energy. The sharing that I passed along to you all, or the thought that I passed along to you all, is that something that I heard from Brendan Burchard is that we don't have energy, we generate energy, just like a power plant. That's what he says. He says a power plant doesn't have energy. It's a source of energy. It gives out energy and it generates energy. So go back to that episode if you're curious about some practical ways to generate some energy in your life. That's episode 12. And then yesterday we talked about how we have the power to generate that energy as well as generate our feelings, right? Last week we talked about the difference between how you feel and emotions, because emotion is that uncalculated physical sometimes response. It's subconscious, but the feeling is our brain associating meaning to that feeling, to that emotion. I'm speaking slowly, so I knew I could be clear. So let me say that again. The feelings that we have is our brain trying to associate some sort of meaning to that emotion that is the unconscious sort of visceral response, whether it's love or whether it's anger, right? And so that one's really deep and muck and mire as well. We won't dive into that much more now since we're reviewing for this week. Excuse me. I've just spoken to you all. You're the only people I've spoken to today. And I've been up for like 3 hours. Look at me. I know it's weird, right? I live in this house with all these people, and then, anyway, it's my morning routine, you guys, okay? I woke up morning. Oh my God, it's going to happen. I'm going to get through it. I did wake up early this morning, and I did my morning reflection with gratitude and goal setting, and which is part of the 5 to Thrive, part of the 90-day challenge. And then yesterday I did yoga, and that felt really great. And today I did a new dance cardio workout on this app that I pay for. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's going to sound like I'm really name dropping. But a lot of people have all the fancy bikes and things that they can do with this app. I don't have the bike. I just pay for the app, and they have a new dance cardio, which is kind of fun. And insider secret, you'll know I'm working out more in the mornings when my hair is pulled back like this. If I have like super fresh hair, you'll be like, Kristen didn't work out this morning. So just secrets, and I'm just going to get myself out there because, of course, you probably know I've almost talked about my hair at least once an episode. I'll get over it someday or not, because my mom still has amazing hair, and she doesn't talk about it, but it's a thing. I think it's just a thing. All right. So what kind of energy are you generating? And yesterday we focused in on how the energy can be positive or negative, of course, and how you can carry that energy that you're experiencing in one experience over to the next without even knowing it. And so what we aim to do, especially when we're frustrated with an interaction with a colleague, if we're frustrated and there's been a meltdown with a kid at home, having to do with high schooler in the project and not having the birthday that they wanted to have. I mean, you name it. You name the experience. Think of one in your head. I know you've had at least one in the last 24 hours. If you were here yesterday, I'm really curious. Did you practice releasing throughout the day yesterday? I would love to hear that. I'm so curious. I really am, because it's so easy just get going on that train. Not the steam train. That's with Mr. Dorian at 11, and that one's a little bit more fun. But that you get going on this, like, well, now I have to do that, and now I have to do this, and then I had this email that responded, and then I had this person say this to me over text, and then I talked to my mom on the phone, and she said this, and then I read this news article about this, and then you're spinning up. All that energy is just compacting, and it's not positive energy, right? And we're not releasing that from one experience to the next. What happened over text has nothing to do with your child's meltdown. You're attaching connections to that, and when you go into your child's meltdown, you don't go into it. When you're around for it, and you've just come off of that email that, man, that did not, someone misunderstood you, stuff's going down, you do not, and you left that email to come do lunch, and your child has a meltdown, how often are you transferring that frustration, that did not just happen at work, to, no way, this is not happening right now with this meltdown? because you didn't transition from those things with intention. Meaning, you didn't release. Yesterday, let's see if I still have it close. Yes, I do. When you are able to release the tension, I always mix up which way I'm supposed to go, then you can set intention. And we did a little practice yesterday of even saying to ourselves, release. Release. And that means releasing tension in your body. I bet even listening to me right now or watching me right now, if you were to do a quick scan, are you clenching your jaw? Is your forehead crinkled up? Just do a quick check. Are you up here with your shoulders? Are you tight in your back? If you're sitting in a chair, are you leaning forward? These are ways even physically that you're holding the tension in your body, that our bodies are very connected to our emotions. Surprise, I know. Can you believe it? When you're feeling stressed, you feel it in your body, okay? So the tip here is to say it to yourself in your head. Release, release, release. A powerful story I heard about this strategy being used in a positive way is that, back when we all used to drive to work, back when we all used to do that, the guy in the story was like, I have so much stress at work, and then I come home, and there's my wife and my kids, they're teenagers and they're middle schoolers, and my wife is like, she's been at home, she's also had work all day long, and then she's come home and started making dinner, and he's like, I know when I walk in the house, I'm already messed up, stressed out from the day, and then I come in the house and these people are there and they stress me out too. I mean, he's not saying it with a smile. And in his story, in his telling the story about the power of the strategy, is that when he pulls into the driveway and he pulls into the garage, before he even gets out of his car, because that stress at work doesn't have anything to do with your middle schooler. And even though we're not parking our cars in the driveway when we come home from work right now, you are getting up from your laptop and you're going to your family. You are leaving your office in the home and going to your family. You are at the kitchen table and you're done with that email and you close your laptop and you get up and you go make lunch. You're doing things that there is a transition. You're not carrying your laptop with you, and if you are, send me a direct message. That's a different tactic. We're gonna have to go a little deeper there with that one, or maybe hire an actual professional. But you're carrying those things over, and so to go back to this guy's story, he would sit in his car until he felt his body release it. And then he would go in his house. And, of course, his wife mentioned, like, oh my gosh, like, over the past few weeks, what's happened? Something's changed. And he's like, I'm setting the intention before I even enter the room. And so that has a lot to do with what we're doing today. Continuing with setting our intentions. And this time, instead of, we're taking it to another level. Yesterday was about generating the feelings and the energy. And today it's about bringing the joy. It's up to you to choose the joy that you can see in the world, to choose joy when it's cloudy outside, to choose joy when 6.6 million people have filed for unemployment, to choose joy when you're one of those people. And that sounds, I know you're thinking like, Kristen, what is wrong with you? How can I do that? I just lost my job. Hang tight, okay? Like, that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. That's why we're here together. We've got a whole community of people, whether they're watching this recorded or live right now, that we're hearing this. And if you've gotten that crappy email and you've gotten that news that's really bothered you, and this isn't just pandemic times either. You guys know that, right? Like, these things are tools for you, and these that will see you through pre, post, during, okay? I latched onto these tools about a year and a half or so ago when I was really looking for a redirection, a change in my life. Um, so, and I didn't feel like I had associated some meaning to some emotions. And so I didn't feel like I had a lot to be joyful about. My demeanor was not joyful. I mean, I've had friends in the past and some that are on here that, in the past year and a half with me taking on the responsibility to choose joy for myself, even just talking to them, they're like, or if I haven't seen them in a while, they're like, Kristen, like you seem lighter, like you seem brighter. You seem, I mean, I'm physically healthier than I was, so that's also a physical sign of what's happening in me. And it can happen for you too, even when it's very cloudy outside, even when there's no rainbows, cupcakes, and unicorns, okay? Oh man, I put the order wrong. I thought it was when I was typing it up this morning. I was like, something doesn't feel like, but it's rainbows, cupcakes, and unicorns. All right. So that's what today's about. How are you going to bring the joy? All of these tips are from the High Performance Habits it's kind of been our Bible this week. Last week, our Bible was Brene, and this is the Gospel according to Brendan. Lots of B's here. I think maybe I need to change my first name to a B name. So I like it. It starts with this quote by Abraham Lincoln. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Okay? So tune in with me. Okay? Don't leave me yet. This is not a Pollyanna moment. These are very clear, strategic sunshine lollipops and rainbows. I don't really like lollipops, so I also don't really love cupcakes. But anyway, thank you, Justin. Yes, sunshine lollipops and rainbows. So this is not a just believe in it and see it in your mind. That's not what this is. And if you get into this and you're like, Kristen, that was a bunch of bull and you're full of it, please send me a message and let me know, because either we can continue that conversation or maybe we need to do some other thoughts. Maybe we have some other background work that we can dig into, okay? So some strategies are creating the energy, like we talked about yesterday, is the same thing as creating the joy that you need that you can have, and that it's your choice to choose to create that joy every day. And so start off your day with, you're probably making breakfast for the kiddos. You probably take a shower at some point in the morning. If you don't, then it's at night. And if it's at night, then it's a reflection time. Find a time where, even if it's walking across the house from your bedroom to the kitchen, block out the noise of the family, and if the spouse ends up asking you like 7 questions, okay, I'll answer your questions. Right now I am generating some joy. And they're going to be like, are you a robot? Like, what's happening? I don't get it. So 3 questions that you ask yourself so that you can intentionally find joy, which is, what can I be excited about today? It sounds silly, but if you're putting on your makeup in the morning, what can I be excited about today? Okay. Well, it's Thursday. Hey, I'm already excited because that's one day closer to the weekend. Okay, done. I'm there. Weekends make me happy. What's it going to be for you? I'm curious. Like, what's it going to be for you? Maybe the weekend isn't feeling like a weekend right now, so that's not going to be something that gets you excited about today. Maybe it's, okay, well, after I do my work in the morning, then I'm going to make dinner. Oh, I'm going to try a new recipe. I'm going to be excited about that. I'm going to try a new recipe. Oh, but we're just making homemade pizza. I've done that a million times. Well, you know what? Today's a bunch of crap, actually. Today is full of it. We're all adults here. I'm just going to say the C word. It's crap. It's actually not for me. But I've had those days, right, where I look at my schedule and I'm like, holy cow, I've got meetings back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And then I've got to help out with the family. And then after that, I have a online learning that I'm doing. And then it'll be 11 o'clock and I'll have still stayed up too late, even though I was doing all these awesome things. Oh my gosh, I don't have anything. Whoa. Find something, create something to be excited about. What excites you? Is it going on a walk with your dogs? Is it trying a new recipe? Is it getting in your car and driving around the block? What is it? What excites you? You know yourself. You're an adult, okay? I paused for a second. I noticed that some of us say that a lot, like you're an adult. And I was this morning. Justin also said it in his morning start the day on newminds.tv, and I was like, I say that too. I'm like, why do I say that? I bet people that are not teachers don't understand. Because as teachers, in our teacher brain, we're always thinking about the kids. We're always thinking about how we can restructure the way that we talk and speak and the plans that we make and how we can interact with the kids with intention. And we're always thinking about how kids think. And then when we talk to adults, we're like, oh, wait, I don't have to talk to you like you're a kid. I can go back to talk to you like an adult. And so I think we end up finding ourselves like defining our audience by being like, hello, you're an adult. Because like we would kind of do that for kids, right? We would also say, it's okay, you are 9 years old. I do not expect you to generate the excitement, to generate the joy. Because by the way, kids don't have to generate joy. They are naturally joyful. You might have some, Eeyore tendencies. You might see some kiddos that way, but they're going to find something that they love and they're going to play with it and play with it, whether it's video games or whether it's Legos or whether it's making those silly slime recipes. That's kids finding their joy. And notice what kids do. They obsess over it until they've got it right or until they've played everything they can possibly play around with it. They've packaged it and unpackaged it and beat all the levels that they wanted to beat. They obsess over it. Are you obsessing over your joy? Are you obsessing over the things that can make you excited? So if you don't have something already in the day in front of you that you immediately think, oh, I'm excited about that, create it. Make it up. And I don't mean lie to yourself. I mean say, for me, okay, I've got all of this junk all day today. I am not excited about any of it. It's all of these meetings, and I've got to have a hard conversation with this coworker, and I've got to also tiptoe around this part with my family. And you know what makes me excited? Trying a new recipe. I love to try new recipes. So I'm going to plan to make something fun for dinner. That's going to be fun for me. Some of you are like, God. I mean, I've even had some of the mom crew that I spend a lot of time with and have given some self-development talks to. They're like, can you come over to my house and make food for me? Because I don't like that. Awesome. I will. Well, I won't right now. But but find what does bring you joy. If cooking doesn't bring you joy, which I know it's super weird, pop in here with your comments. I'd love to hear. I know we've got Justin and Shay. I was mixing up their names. Jess, she says, we've never done homemade pizza, and now I'm going to try that tonight. What? Are you kidding me? Homemade pizza is the best. There's a recipe. Okay, tangent again. There's a recipe that is a no-knead dough recipe that's really easy and accessible and delicious. There's also the prepared kind that you can probably still order from Target. Trader Joe's has a delicious pizza dough that's homemade. You can still go there as well. They're open until 5. So anyway, yes, find something like that that's going to bring you joy if it's not cooking. Okay. Little Caesars, does that bring you joy? If it brings you joy to go to Little Caesars, then go on. Let's hear it. I know Shay's here, Elizabeth's here, Justin. What excites you about either today or in general? Like for me, it's doing something that's cooking. What's something that brings you excitement and joy? Pop that in here in the comments. I'd love to see that and share that with others. The next step after that, and I'm just going to keep going, so whenever you pop in your thing that brings you joy, I'm going to stop and share it with everybody because it's going to bring us joy. So question 1, putting on your makeup, doing your morning shower, whatever your morning is, what am I excited about today? What can I be excited about today? Question 2, what or who, and we've actually touched on this before last week, What or who might trip me up or cause stress? And how can I respond in a positive way from my highest self? So this is that obstacles, like what sort of things are going to get in your way. Last time we talked about this was more about your goals and your clarity on your why, and how writing those things down every day is a practice, but also keeping those in mind for being able to predict what things will get in your way for you achieving your goals. And it's the same thing here with your joy. What sort of things could possibly get in your way from allowing you to respond from a place of your highest self? As the adult in the house, as the equal with your spouse, your partner, whoever is around, as the person that you are in interaction with on meetings, virtually, how are you able to respond, and what sorts of things are probably going to get in your way from being able to respond from a place of positivity and your highest self? Justin touched this morning on the idea that we have to choose. He didn't say these words, but we choose to assume positive intentions, right? But how do you do that? You have to choose. You have to break it down and look at the situation, and then your perspective changes. Then you have that positivity. And so to add to that, I would also invite you to consider what things are going to get in the way. Because when you're making your thoughts in the morning, what sort of things are going to get in the way of you having weird hair placement? What sort of things are going to get in the way of you having the joy that you can generate within you? Let's see. Yes, Jess says, oh, she hasn't, Little Caesars, okay, that's why it's so close, that's why she hasn't tried homemade pizza. I gotcha. She says, I love cooking, and so do her boys. She has 2 boys. She's excited to try that tonight. Yes, so see, you've got the time now, right? And that'll give them, you can throw in some math concepts in there. You can throw in all kinds of fun concepts when you're making pizza together. We're talking about what brings us joy. What sort of things can we be excited about? What can I be excited about? You may not be excited about them right now, but you can choose to be, and you can create that energy to provide that joy for yourself. And so Elizabeth says, I'm learning how to make pie crust. I love lesson planning. I know, I'm such a geek. Okay. Yes, learning to make pie crust, that is a challenge. I'm never good at that. My hands are too warm. You have to have cold hands to make really super pie crust. Even though I did work at a pie shop for 1.5 years, it's really strange. I don't make very good pie crust. They always turn out really gummy. Something else that Elizabeth says that can be excited about is lesson planning. I feel you. I feel you on that though, because for me, I can also be excited about making plans, whether they actually come true or not. Justin's probably like rolling his eyes back in his head if he's still watching, but I love making plans. I love like looking at like the list of how things are connected. I mean, that's why right now my job is project management. Like, I love rolling out all the details. Let's get in there and all those details. That kind of does excite me. I might see on my list of things to do that, like, I have to do this and this and this and this. But then I get to sit down and make a project plan for how we're going to do New Minds TV. Okay. Hey, Adam, welcome in. Glad to see you. We're talking about how we can generate joy, how we can bring the joy. And so in the mornings or when we start our day, taking that shower, putting on that makeup, whatever your morning routine is, there's 3 questions we can ask ourselves. Question 1, we've already been through, which is, what can I be excited about today? Which is what people are popping in with their comments. They're sharing the things that can excite them. And then the second question is, what or who might trip me up or cause stress? How can I respond in a positive way from my highest self? This is that whole idea of identifying your obstacles. When you're thinking through your day, what sort of things are probably going to cause you stress? Go ahead and recognize those. and think about how when that stress does come, and this is like the sweet spot for my worst case scenario friends out there. Not that it's anybody that's on this comment chain right now, but for people that live in this mindset of if I prepare for the worst, if I can imagine the worst possible outcome, then I'm ready. This is actually a good spot for you because you're thinking about all the things that you can get in your way and how can you respond in a positive way to those worst case scenario things. How can you set yourself up to respond in a positive way from your highest self? So I think that's maybe the level that concerns me about worst case scenario dwellers, is that they go out there and they imagine the worst case scenario and they're like, all right, I just imagine the end of the world, the zombie apocalypse, here we are, I'm set, I'm ready to go. Whatever Corona brings, I know that I've got 17 piles of toilet paper and I've got canned beans that I don't even eat beans anyways, but I've got them and they're all there. But do they actually go to that next level and ask themselves, how can I respond to this in a positive way instead of how can I prevent it from happening? How can I prepare for the worst? How about how can I respond to that thing when it does happen, if it does happen, and respond to that from my highest self? So that's the second question. The third question and final question is, who can I surprise today? I love this one. This one is so, I have some growth to do in this one. Who can I surprise today with a thank you, a gift, or a moment of appreciation? Who can I surprise today with a thank you, a gift, or a moment of appreciation? You're bringing joy to your own life when you are able to surprise someone with a moment of appreciation, a simple text. I like another thing that is powerful that I would like personally to start to incorporate, and I'm like giving away all my secrets here. But when something does happen that's great, he calls it a gift trigger. And so whenever something positive does happen around you, to have that thought or to even to respond verbally of, what a gift. What a gift. So when you're able to see that positive, because you're already from this place of needing and knowing that you can choose the joy, then you're able to have that response. And when you say that out loud, like, what a gift. Yes, inspiring and teaching others through lessons. What a gift. Making homemade pizza with my boys. What a gift. Getting to walk around the neighborhood and go on a 45-minute walk that I have never explored the actual walking paths that are in our neighborhood. What a gift. The fact that someone left you 2 rolls of toilet paper on your front porch. What a gift. Okay? And not just that was so nice of them. They're so nice. Go to the next level. Identify it and say it wow, that was a gift. And that habit will really start to help you to transform your thinking from no rainbows and cupcakes and unicorns to a rainbow. What a gift. It's been raining and it seems so... this is actually connecting to a great game that Justin suggests for kids. And it's part of a series that we have. It's not released yet, but some flip the scripts on when kids say at home and they're super bored. And they're like, I'm so bored. And so one of the activities that we suggest that you can do with kids is called Angels and Demons, or another word to call it is Pessimist and Optimist. And it's a game that you can play, and you can choose who's the pessimist and who's the optimist. But somebody says, it's cloudy and it's been raining outside for days here in Dallas. And then that's the pessimist. And the optimist says, but look at how beautiful all of the flowers are. And look how green the grass is. This grass has never been this green at, where are we, April? It hasn't been this green this early before. And then the optimist would come back and try to think of a negative thing about that and say, yeah, but if there's so much grass, that means we have to mow the lawn more often. And well, then we'll have a bunch of lawn scraps all over the place and we'll have to rake them up. Pessimist. Optimist. What a gift. We get to get outside and we can make grass angels instead of snow angels. And then we can use all of those grass clippings to add to our plan for composting. See, it's taking me a second, but I'm getting there. Right? Play that game. It's a fun game to play with kids, and then switch, right? Then the other kid is the optimist and then you're the pessimist. And it's what that does for the kiddos is makes it more fun and kind of takes them out of this like, the world's the worst. I didn't get to have my birthday party with my friends. I didn't get to go anywhere for my 16th. I would turn 16 and I didn't even get to go anywhere. Or, I miss having my weekly music class with all of my friends. Name it. They're doom and gloom. They're not naturally doom and gloom, but they're getting there, right? Especially with all the circumstances. And so playing this game with them can kind of snap them out of it. Do the same for yourself. Have a little split personality moment with yourself and say, this is so bad, but this is so good. But this is so bad, but this is so good. And when you start to get into that, I think we got there by starting to talk about a gift trigger. And there's a whole bunch of other triggers. I'm not going to spend a ton of time because I know we're also running out of time today. But I want to leave you with those 3 things that can hopefully begin to shift your thinking and give you a strategy to approach how looking at the world, looking at your circumstances. I'm not asking you to see it as all rainbows and cupcakes and unicorns, or rainbows, unicorns, and cupcakes, or lollipops, but instead to look at your day. If you're just starting your day here in Dallas, you've been up for a few hours anyways. Think about tomorrow. If you're just finishing your day, got friends watching from the other side of the world, that you start tomorrow with these 3 questions. What can I be excited about today? What or who might trip me up, cause me stress, get in my way of my joy? And how can I respond from my highest self? And number 3, who can I surprise today? Who can I surprise with a thank you gift, with an extra hug, passing through the kitchen, with sitting down and playing Legos? Who can I surprise today with a text message of, hey girl, just checking in, how are you? With a email, hey team, thank you so much. You are always showing up. You've got kids running around the house and your dog's driving you crazy and you're still on this meeting with me. Thank you for showing up. How can you, with intentionally, show someone some appreciation and that they are a gift? Because each of you are a gift. You are. Each of you are. The fact that you've chosen to come here and tune in to better yourself so that you can better serve those around you already sets you up in a place that you are a gift to those that you are pouring into in your families, in your homes, in the people that you're interacting with virtually, in the group text messages. You are such a gift to them. And I hope that you take that with you, that today that you have found some inspiration and that you've experienced something that's been real and that you've learned something, because that's what New Minds TV is all about. It's all about real inspired learning. And I thank you so much for joining me. I'm really serious. I want to see your comments. I want to see all the ways that you are generating joy. It's not easy. It is intentional. It will become easier as we continue to practice. Next 90 days, let's practice. We only have 88 more left. And I hope that whatever you do, you continue to pursue your passion until it becomes your talent. Have a wonderful Thursday, which is closer to Friday, and I will see you all tomorrow.